Hey you guys, welcome back. This is going to be a 19-minute snippet of the 40-minute free Zoom session that I had with my Telegram channel. Basically just explaining my last week trades that I actually took and put in the group chat and breaking it down. So I break down two of my favorite setups that I use on a weekly basis and how I just approach the market in general. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you stay to the absolute end, especially if you're that type of person that's on YouTube just searching for just a strategy or all these different strategies or trying to learn all these different concepts. At the very end, I do put in like a little a gem in there for you just to keep in mind and not to get your brain on overload. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show like my approach to the market, which is very simple. It's just literally the art of price action combined with market structure. So Thursday, it was so simple. I was like, why do you want to take this trade? So for me, if it goes to the 1 hour, let me refresh here. I mark off my hourly zones in gray. So on the 1 hour, if it hits multiple hits, that's a 1 hour zone, right? So multiple hits, hit, like these are hits. I marked off 1 hour zone. I make them gray. And then I'm going to the 5 or 15 minute and doing the same thing. So these green boxes are areas on the 5 or 15 minute zone that kept getting hit for multiple days. So it's green here, and it just so happens to be my hourly zone as well. But it's green here because it was used Wednesday. This green area was used Wednesday. This green area was also used on Tuesday. Like, look how far price rejected that. It rejected it here. So rejecting it for multiple days, I'm going to make it green, right? One of my setups is waiting for a break of a previous high and a pullback. So on here, and an inverted head and shoulders as well is another setup. So here, we're at the hourly zone and we have a inverted head and shoulders, right? I'm waiting to do this. We have an inverted head and shoulders, and it's at the significant area from the last 3 days. So at this point, I'm going to mark off this low. Please pay attention to this too. I'm going to mark off this low because this was the low that broke this high. It broke it here, right? So that's the first thing. Step one, identify the low that broke that high. Step two is waiting for a retest, okay? So on a retest, I'm looking for 3 things. I'm looking for one, a pullback to previous high. 2, a pullback to 50% engulfing. Oops. And some type of PA confirmation, price action confirmation. Bro, what's going on? And 3, a pullback to significant area or 1 hour zone with PA confirmation. All right, so I need one of these 3 things. Okay, so at this point, we have that break. Great, now we need the retest. So out of the 3 things that I have listed here, it did 2 of them. Can anybody identify those 2? And I'm going to be pulling up the chat here and there, but not like completely often. Can anybody identify the 2 out of is it 1, 2, or 3 that happened? All right, 1 and 3, 1 and 3. So pull back to previous high. Okay, so pull back to previous high, it would have stopped at this black line. It didn't stop at that black line, right? So it pulled back to this area of significance and 1 hour zone and gave this price action confirmation. Like, look at this long wick doji. Look at this long wick doji. That's a great confirmation, price action confirmation. And also it gave us this bullish engulfing. So it pulled back and gave us this bullish engulfing. So some of my price action confirmations are M's and W's, engulfing candlesticks, and dojis. And I have the candlestick Bible here. Let me see. Dojis is page 20. Dojis are known for reversals. Like, even if you trade order blocks, what do they always say? If once price comes back to that order block, that long wick doji is a great indication that it wants to reverse. So we get that here. And if we're really trying to understand price action and not trying to memorize it, this was the opening of the candle right here, right? So the sellers literally, let me change this to a different color. The sellers literally came all the way down here, went all the way back up here, and then closed right there. So the sellers, they really tried it, but they could not get price to stay down there, right? And if we're looking, dojis are also known for reversal. So that was one price action confirmation. This bullish engulfing was another, and that was actually my entry. It was right after I waited for a little pullback, and then I hopped in, and I'm targeting my area of significance from the previous day, which was right here. So right here, my stop loss was like right there, targeting that area. For my take profits, they're either going to be the hourly zones or areas of significance, right? And this area made so much sense because if we zoom out, and I didn't see this kind of like until Friday, if we zoom out, what pattern is this? What pattern do you guys see? Really quickly, anybody notice the pattern? Somebody said M. Any other guesses? Head and shoulders, exactly. It's a head and shoulders. So, and I would say when it comes to market patterns, they always want to go back to the origin. Okay. So we have the shoulder here. If you didn't say head and shoulders, we have the shoulder right here in this previous day, the head here, and the right shoulder here. So it made sense why it wanted to reject this area. It made sense. And since I do trade head and shoulders and inverted so much, like so much, this isn't even a head and shoulders too. Like we have this break above fake out head right here, and price came back within the area of significance, which formed that right shoulder. And then we got the push to the downside, right? So entry could have been at this area of significance or waiting for same concept over here, waiting for price to break this low and pull back to what? Out of the three things, what did it do? It pulled back to the previous high. This was the pullback to the previous high and gave us the price action confirmation, which was the doji. Entry right here, price in that area, and then targeting my 1 hour zone. For me, I'm not a swing trader. I'm not holding this trade overnight. I'm not. So my first target would be my hourly zone. Second target would be this area of significance. But I would have not held it to the next day. I would have not. But I did not take that sell. I just took the buy. But yeah, that was that. And okay, let's go to the next day. So this was Friday. Really, you guys, like this, it can all be so simple. Any questions before I move on? Can you go back to the first head and shoulders? I didn't actually said in the chat, like I had a bullish bias. Let me see. I had a bullish bias at first, which I should never have, because zooming out, like I was saying, market patterns, they always want to go back to the origin. So this was the origin, the start of its complete head and shoulders, right? That was a start. But I did have a bullish bias. Don't ask me why, but I did. Matter of fact, ask me why. So looking at this, someone even said in the chat, they said this looks like a pennant, or like looks like a flag, which it could possibly be. And me, I do like trading fake outs. It makes me feel like super smart, but I like trading fake outs. And with pennants, what they like to do is a fake out to either the upside or downside and then reverse. So I was thinking it was on a fake out like this and then go up. So that's why I had that bias. But instead, the fake out happened to the upside. So this was the 930 candle right here, this blue candle, right? It went all the way to this previous high and stopped. And then we got this huge bearish engulfing candle. So I'm like, okay, my bias is completely changed at this point, right? So what is my setup? I'm strict on my setups. The old me would have been like, let me hop in before I miss my mark, right? And try to hop in as it's like all this bearish momentum. But my setup specifically says a break and retest, right? So it broke this area of significance, this green box, and it retested, right? And now I just taking the retest, I need more than just a retest. I need some confirmation. So let's throw some in there. So if I don't know if you guys watched my video on YouTube, like Simplify Price, or I forgot the actual title, but one thing I like to do is throw a fib on the engulfing candle, mark off my 50%, and wait for price to come back to that area. So it not only rejected this 50% one time, two times, three times, and then what do we get on that third? A freaking doji. Like, you just have to chuckle. Like, it can all be so simple. Like, simplify your life. Like, break and retest, head and shoulders inverted, breaks of highs. Make it so simple. Like, even if you just take these 2-3 setups, see how that correlates with your strategy. But anyway, so we have a pullback to this 50% area. We have multiple rejections. Price never closed above this 50%. And it just also happens to be this area of significance as well. I'm going to check out the chat in just a moment. Right? And then so we got this nice long wick doji. For me, that's a great confirmation as well. So entry could have really been after the close of that doji. I'm not putting my stops all the way over here. Like, the buyers are beat at this point. Like, if they try coming back up there again, they're just like wasting their money. So like, my stops are like above this 50% area, right? You can even say the average of these wicks. And then I'm targeting my 1 hour zone. And why not only is this my 1 hour zone, but why this makes sense to target it is because if we're thinking about bearish structure, what is it saying? It is a high, a lower high, lower low. We're going to need a lower low. So a high, lower low, lower high, or lower low is our target. So that's why I targeted that area. And I took 2 positions on for this trade. So I took on the position right here, which I was taking forever to calculate my lot size. So I got in a little bit late. So you see, like, I entered in here. My entry really wanted to be after this doji, and then another entry after this doji. Why did I enter it again? So just the same concept, like I was saying before, this was the high that broke this low. So this low right here, it broke it right here. And then out of the 3 things that I said wait for when it comes to breaks of structure, let's bring this on down, right? Is a what? Pull back to previous high, in this case, previous high / low, pull back to 50% engulfing, pull back to significant area zone. It did not pull back all the way to here. It did not pull back to the 50% of this engulfing candle, but it did pull back to the previous low, made that doji. So I took another entry right here on the close of that candle, and then my stop just a little bit, not too much above that, above this previous low, still targeting my 1 hour zone. So my second entry had like a 1 or 2, and my first entry had like a 1 or 3. Okay, I really hope that was simple. I really do. And that was my day on Friday. Then I'll go over Monday as well. I don't think I posted this in the chat. I did not, but it just goes back to simple break and retest and waiting for highs and lows to be broken. So I mark off my 5-minute zone. I said it was used this day multiple times. And then during London session, it was also used, right? So at 9:30, this was a 9:30 candle, this bearish candle here, it pulled back again to that 5-minute zone, and it broke above this high. So I'm going to mark off the low that broke this high right here, and I'm waiting for one of my 3 things. I'm tired of dragging it, but let's find it really quickly. I'm waiting for my 1 of 3 things. Like, it's really rinse and repeat. In this, it's not the more momentum, the better. So this is not an engulfing candle, but it's the inside bar, and it's going to happen in the candlestick Bible. inside bar. I forgot what page that would be. When I tell you, like, the Candlestick Bible is used often, inside bar 137. 137. Let me go to it really quickly. But 137 inside bar. So it's like a mother candle and a baby candle next to it. Basically saying it had all this bearish momentum, and that bullish candle just said, we're going the other way. So that's an inside bar, especially when it's matched with momentum like this. So the 930 candle was the mother candle, and then the 935 was the baby candle. So we have that momentum here in a retest at my 5-minute zone. So you can say this was a break above, retest, retest, and then now my setup comes in, another setup, extra confirmation. This low broke this high. Really understand this. Like, it's, if you see this on your charts, like, it's golden. This was the low that broke above this high, and I'm waiting for one of the three things. I'm waiting for pull back to previous higher low. Does it do that? Yes, it does. And it stopped in this area. Or pull back to 50% of the engulfing candle, or pull back to the significant area or zone. This was not an engulfing candle. This was an inside bar anyway. So that you can rule number 2 out. But it pulled back to that previous high / low and gave me that doji confirmation. And it's a long wick doji. So like with long wick dojis, what did I say before? They tired of coming back down all the way here. So my stop below this doji, or below this like area right here, but really below this doji, or the average of these wicks right here. And then either way, just below this area, below this high, charting my 1 hour zone or area significance. So in this case, the next area was the hourly zone, and taking that all the way up. So this was essentially a 1 to 5 risk reward, just based off a break above, retest, and then a break of the high, wait for one of these three things, and then taking it to the next zone. Literally, that was it. And that was Monday. So I shared 2 of my 4 setups. Those are it. And you see these all the time. Like, it's rinse and repeat all the time. Any questions? FOMC is the new CPI. Man, what time do you trade? So I really don't like to take setups before NYSE Open, New York Stock Exchange Open, which is at 9:30 Eastern time. But sometimes, like for example, this trade, it really played out after 9:30. So this was 9:30 was that manipulation candle, and then the move happened after. But sometimes, like if you would have held it from London, you would have still been in profit. Like, it never broke back below, but just timing is a confirmation in itself. So like waiting for the perfect time when everything really aligns and it's after manipulation is the best. So I may take a trade before 9:30 if I'm like, I like this, but typically it's after 9:30 for the most part. And then like I'm absolutely out of a trade by 3 p.m. because sometimes there's news at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So like I'll let it, like if I was to get in because of news, like I'll take it until like max 3 p.m. But like I'm done by that time. Trading is simple. We do overcomplicate it. And it goes back to my point that I said in the beginning. Like, we want to learn all these different strategies. Like, you guys may get off of this call, go to YouTube and see dinosaur strategy, eat it up and eat it up. Like, dinosaur strategy, I never heard of that. Like, no, stop it. Dinosaur strategy is like it's going to be another word for smart money concept, another word for whatever the case may be. It is another way of approaching the market and typically yielding the same exact bias. Like the dinosaur strategy can say, wait for a bearish candle, bullish candle, buy. Mine says wait for break and retest and buy. So it's like, it's different ways of looking at the market, but it's going to say the same thing, especially if it's a profitable strategy. Because like it would need to say the same thing if other strategies, if it's profitable in some way, shape, or form. So it's like, don't get caught up in all these different strategies, honestly. And yeah, really figure out what works for you. So if you're more comfortable of having a whole bunch of indicators, find somebody that has a whole bunch of indicators on their chart. Me, I'm strictly the beauty of price action and market structure. Really. I might throw on my little RSI for diversion purposes. And I have like a Bollinger Band around it, but I can honestly delete the Bollinger Band. But I might do a little double click, throw on my RSI, like, oh, okay, I was thinking buy anyway, but I have a divergence, extra confirmation. But for the most part, y'all didn't see me pull this up when explaining it. It's based off just pure price action and market structure. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, especially if you got something from this video and you were able to use it, and subscribe if you haven't already. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.